Hi everyone. 0 viewers so far, but we're glad when someone joins us, and I guess you can watch this on repeat on the YouTube channel. So, my name is Richard, and I'm going to be discussing how frequently you should update and when are the best times to update your posts on Facebook and Twitter from an enterprise perspective.
Yep. I'm Matt. I'm going to talk about tools for monitoring social activity.
I'm Jess. I'm going to be covering what kind of content to publish and share.
Well, I'm Janina. I will be covering building relationships with your community through social media.
Okay, well, let's get into it, shall we?
I'm going to try to cast the screen, so...
Yeah, brace yourselves. No one.
Whole zero.
Okay.
We're following. So we're just going to trust that it's done back out on full screen.
Okay, one more go at this. Alright, hand over to Jess now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's as far as it goes. So.
Alright, so I'm just going to be watching.
Yeah,
They can watch it on repeat.
It's not live at the moment, but yeah.
Alright, we'll
I'll jump in. It's the one that's weird.
So I'm going to be covering what kind of content to publish and share. So basically...
Callum just said maybe wait a few minutes to start, so yeah, maybe we'll put this on hold for one moment and we'll...
Yes, so display the first
This was an excellent test.
Yeah.
This was a great test, so for anyone watching who is a postgrad student, this will be very useful to you, I'm sure.
He's watching, I'm guessing.
Okay, so we've got one viewer. Is that Callum? I suppose so.
I'm guessing if he's in on this thing, wait.
Okay, we've got 2 viewers, so now I'll just go back to, yeah, alright.
It's a record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a bit better to begin with.
Do you want to begin?
So yeah, shall we just start again, I suppose, or maybe wait a couple more minutes, but we'll just introduce ourselves again regardless. So my name's Richard. I'm going to be discussing the frequency of updates with the tools Facebook and Twitter from an enterprise perspective. I'll also be looking at when is the best time to post to consumers and other businesses using these mediums.
I'm Matt. I'll be talking about the tools for monitoring social activity.
I'm Jess. I'm going to be discussing the types of content to publish and share.
I'm Janina. I will be covering how to build relationships with your community on social media. So just hope you enjoy our social media best practices tips.
Fantastic. Well, I think we've waited a few minutes now, so we might jump back into the PowerPoint and get started. It's my understanding that people can watch this later via the YouTube link, so hopefully that is correct. And that we're not just talking to no one, so just go ahead and jump into this PowerPoint. Okay, I'll pass over to Jess now.
Okay, so we're going to be covering keeping the social and social media. And first up, I'm going to be covering what type of content to publish and share. So basically, we just want to show your customers and audience that you care with the types of content that you kind of share with them and create for them. So I've got 5 tips that you should really focus on when it comes to your content. Know your audience, add value, be part of the wider community, make sure you're always transparent, it's pretty much paramount, and share non-promotional company information. The first tip is to know your audience. So if you don't know who you're broadcasting to or publishing your content for, it's really not going to be relevant. So focusing on creating content for where your customers are is pretty obvious, but it's going to be pointless if your customers are on visual platforms like Pinterest and Instagram and you spend a lot of time updating your Facebook or Twitter. So what you have to do is always find a way to share your content on the channels your customers frequent. So obviously doing some user research and finding out where they are is probably the first part before you start creating your content. Also, getting to know your audience helps you create the content, so it's not going to be engaging and effective if you don't know who you're talking to. So this is all about being social, getting involved in conversation, replying to comments, asking your customers questions is all ways that you can get to know your customers. Engaging them when you're looking to expand a product or service is another way to get to know your audience. This also leads to creating value. So finding out what your customers want will create value for both the business or brand and also the customers. So as I said, adding value is the second tip, and this is really just, it's aiming to have your audience keen to share and interact with your content. So if you want them to be interested, they have to be engaged. So it's a way to kind of give them value. So this should be something that would make them want to constantly come back and check your page or your channels. So there's multiple ways you can do this. Adjacent content is one of them. So creating content that is similar, involving common interests of your audience. This will add value without seeming selfish. Support your brand's promotions with other information or entertaining content. Shows you're thinking forward and thinking about your customers and what they would be interested in, and also what their needs are, and that you're listening and learning about them. So, for example, Kmart here has done a little promotional video using products from Kmart, but it's to help entertain the kids on school holidays. So it's something that parents can come and use as a tool to kind of go forward with products that they might look to buy. And this isn't solely pushing Kmart products, it's also helping parents keep their kids entertained. The next thing would be competitions and events, which is giving back to your community and customers. So something that they would love is to win free things, because everyone loves winning things. So this is a way to kind of give back to them. Also to showcase your customers. So if you're getting them to create content themselves, you can kind of put them in the spotlight, and that makes them feel valued and also feel appreciated. The next tip would be to share and be part of the wider community, because social media is about being social. So seek out other relevant topics and conversations, be part of them and share with your wider community. So for example, the Standard Market is a local kind of grocery store, and they've shared a recipe tip from Good Food. It's basic because obviously a grocery store sells a lot of products, and getting in and sharing with another page using their content to kind of promote something that their customers might be interested in, and then they'll visit their store and buy the products, and so everyone's kind of helping each other out there. This is mainly also to kind of, I guess, scratch each other's back as well. Like if you share someone else's content, they might be more likely to share yours, which gives you a wider audience as well. The next one is being transparent, which is pretty much the ultimate form of trustworthiness when it comes to a business. If you find that conflict arises within your social media page, in like the form of a bad review or negative comment, the first and foremost thing is don't delete it and never ignore it. The best tip would be is just to take time to reply in the best way possible, and probably as soon as possible, but don't be defensive. So if you're going to jump in and reply straight away, ensure that you've thought thoroughly about what you say before you give any type of reply. Resolving conflict is really unavoidable in social media. So as an example of a bad way to deal with it, Black Milk actually posted a trying to be humorous meme, which offended some of their customers, and they had a lot of really bad feedback on this meme in regards to, I guess, stereotyping and commenting on women's appearances. So instead of just replying to comments saying, you know, they meant to be funny and apologize, they actually defended themselves and then deleted any negative comments because they were trying to keep the page positive. They, instead of removing it straight away, waited 24 hours and then actually didn't apologize and deleted it the next day by saying that they were entitled and that they were really disappointed with their customers in the way that they reacted. So I think that's a really bad example because they could have just said that we were trying to have some fun and we didn't realize it would offend you guys and we're really sorry. They just kind of defended themselves, deleted anything negative, and didn't really appreciate their customers' point of view. So I think transparency in regards to anything negative is always the best action. And my last tip is sharing non-promotional company information. So any volunteer work or social work in the community, initiatives the company is involved with, get that out on the page. It helps break up your promotional content, and it also humanizes your brand or company. So transparency of the culture and the community within the organization assists building relationships with your customers and your audience. So for example, Coles shared that they raised $2.8 million on Daffodil Day, and also a Suncorp Bank initiative here with the graduate program. So these are things that are not actually going to make any money for the companies, but makes them kind of sharing that they're part of the wider community as well, and people will engage with this and trust the brand and see that they're caring for their audiences, I guess. So yeah, they're my 5 tips. I think I'll pass over to Tristan now.
Sure. Okay, guys. I am going to be. Okay, glad you could join us. So I will now be discussing frequency and timing. So I'll just jump straight into it. So there's really no right or wrong answer as to how often you should post. It's just stopped working too, so just bear with me one moment. Okay, there we go. There's really no right or wrong answer when it comes to determining how often one should post, as there are several factors affecting this decision, such as the intended audience, the social tool being used, the type of content you are providing, and the type of organisation doing the posting. So, for example, if you're a news or media company, it would be expected by your followers that you would post several times per day, whereas an advanced manufacturing firm, for example, would not be expected by their followers to post nearly as frequently. So, an analysis conducted by Moz.com of more than 2,000 Twitter users found that the median half-life of tweets is 18 minutes. So that is about here. And there was also, this does not imply that one should be posting every 18 minutes, of course. So there was a significant negative correlation found in this study between users that tweeted very frequently and how often their tweets would be retweeted. Now, you might think that if you did tweet more overall, that you would get a greater amount of retweets, even though you would be receiving less retweets on each tweet, if that makes sense. It's a lot of tweet. But as you can see here, if you do tweet more frequently, it will not lead to more overall retweets. So tweets are kind of cannibalistic, and you should really, what you should take from this study is that you should not just be posting for the sake of posting. Your posts need to have substance if you want to engage your followers. So what you can also take from this study is that due to the short half-life of mediums such as Twitter, you really need to choose the right time to make posts, which leads me into my next section now. So it should be, just before I do, it should be noticed that Facebook posts do not suffer from the same issue of time decay that tweets do. Well, not to the same extent anyway, due to the story bumping, which was introduced not too long ago now, I think maybe a year or so ago. They updated their algorithm so that pages that you have engaged with more in the past will appear higher on your newsfeed. So it's not quite as big an issue with Facebook, however, choosing the right time to post is important. So an article on Buffer Social highlighted the optimal time for social media posts based on their statistics. And they found that engagement rates on Facebook were 18% higher on Thursdays and Fridays, as you can see in this figure on the left here. And I suppose that that kind of backs up the idea that the less people want to be at work, the more they're on Facebook. However, another study that was conducted found that engagement was 32% higher on weekends between business and consumer, and that there wasn't too much difference between business to business externally. So really, I think what you should take from this, that the end of the week is a great time to begin experimenting with your Facebook posts externally to consumers, and even as an individual, that seems to be when you're going to get the most engagement via this medium. So as for the time of day, I don't have any infographics for this one, unfortunately, but I did find that there was more consensus as to when you should post on Facebook with time of day, with the 1 to 3 p.m. time slot being the ideal time to post, and any time between 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. Being the worst time to post. So no posts after dinner or before breakfast if you want to get the likes. So as for Twitter, there's little statistical significance to suggest the best time for tweeting externally to consumers. However, there was a significant benefit with 14% greater engagement between business to business externally on weekdays. So that is really, if you want to engage other businesses, suppliers, or if you have other companies that purchase products from you or use your services, the weekday is the time to use Twitter. So they also provided some interesting statistics Buffer Social did on the most strategic times of day to tweet. So retweets were found to be highest at 5 p.m, whilst the click-through rate was found to spike at noon and again at 6 p.m. And so this 5 to 6 p.m. time slot corresponds with an interesting study conducted by Twitter, which found that users were 181% more likely to be on Twitter during their daily commute. And this same study reports that users were 119% more likely to be active during school or work hours. And I think that backs the noon time slot, which is when many workers or students alike would be on their lunch break. So in conclusion, I really wanted to present to you some statistical findings I came across in my research, as these are the kind of things that speak to me the most. I hope this has been of use to you, and I'll now pass over to Giannina. If you have any questions at the end, please don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, well, so I will talk about how to build relationships with your community, how to earn familiarity, trust, and likability within your community. Okay, so the first tip is to show up just by being present, and also continue showing up as well, like stick around and pop in regularly with regular updates by joining to customer conversations on social media. You can also ask for help to your community. You can ask for survey participation, product feedback, supporting or sharing a new program or piece of content. Also, it's very important that you monitor and listen your community. You can use different tools for monitoring. For example, Social Engage is an application for Facebook and Twitter, and that allows you to to receive notifications to your email in case if you receive any comments or posts. Also, it's important to set up alerts. There are different tools as well, like Google Alerts, that allow you to analyze any mentions to your brand, your competitors, and keywords. So that would be as well beneficial for link building later on. Well, here I have a post, American Airlines post. Here you can see that actually American Airlines is interacting with their customers. They join to the conversations very often. So, and the second tip that I have is be off topic. It's important as well to go off topic now and again. If every tweet or post is only about your marketing, people will tire it quickly and leave. So it's important that to celebrate events, holidays, publish quotes. So, for example, here I have a post of a Facebook post of Intrepid Travel. So they are a travel guide, and usually, once a week they release a quote related to travel. The next tip is be human. Be kind, be real, be funny, be empathetic, be interesting. So be all the things that you would expect someone to be toward you in every interaction. You should strive to be interesting to your target audience so you can establish your brand loyalty. Also, it's important that you remember that all interactions are completely public, as well as it's important to determine your tone and voice for your audience. So here we have some examples of CNN and road trippers as well with this post. For example, CNN is trying to be as well funny with their community. They are talking about a Labor Day, but they are like displaying as well like a barbecue image. And same as road trippers, so they always have appealing headings on their blog posts and Facebook posts. So that entices people to click on that and go to the article. The fourth tip would be to add value. It's important that you as a business offer a value, offer assistance, answer questions, respond to negative and positive feedbacks. Also, you can create reward systems, such as, for example, coupons, also run contests, promotions, give away free gifts, and you can also gamify, so you can add game-like elements to your social media. For example, this is a MOS. They usually give points for everyone in the community who answer a question. And after accumulating a certain amount of points, you are able to publish a free blog post as a guest post. So, and their community actually receive lots of engagement, lots of interaction, and likes as well on the blog post. And also, we have another examples of coupons here with this bakery. And also Delta Assist. This is an account dedicated to customer service by Delta Airlines.
Callum just asked a question. I don't know if you want to jump in. He said, how far can you go off topic, and what sort of things, whilst being human, should you not go near?
How far from the which
So,
off topic? Yeah, well, probably it's not. The thing is that if you go off topic, you can try to be as well to publish something relevant to your audience. For example, on this example of Intrepid Travel, they are going off topic, but they are showing a quote related to traveling because they are a travel guide. So it's important that you try to keep in mind as well what your audience like. And yeah, so I think it's as well like showing something relevant as well for your audience.
I think like also, like Jess said before, you've really got to make sure that you don't do anything that could potentially offend your audience. You have to be very careful to make sure that everything's politically correct, which might seem like common sense, but when you are trying to be off topic and be funny, sometimes you might try and go for a shock value, which is quite often a tool used for humour on social media, and really that's not a good thing to do from an organisational perspective, in my mind.
No, it's about knowing your audience, definitely.
Yeah, knowing your audience, yeah. The other question?
That was all.
Yeah, and also, so the next tip that I have is don't be exclusionary. So that means that you need to create a balance within your community. It's important that you interact with everyone, as well as foster collaboration and communication within your community. Yes, so for example, we have here some, for example, the You Most blog. This blog is dedicated only like for people for the community who wants actually to release a blog post, and they just can participate, so it's allowed for everyone in that community. Same as this Victoria's Secret tweet, they are calling like they are using ladies in general because they know they are target. They know that their target audience is women. So, but they are not specified. They are like if they are like young ladies or certain age range. And the next tip is don't spam. It's important that you don't spam with irrelevant hashtags or many hashtags on your social media. Don't mention every person in your post. That can be annoying for your customers. Also keep posts and tweets relevant, helpful to followers. And also avoid mass events, invites, and messages, invitations to your brand from your Facebook account, for example. And the last tip would be aware of current events. So during solemn times, natural disasters, tragedies, and terrorism, it's important that you turn off all your marketing messaging as well as your schedule. Otherwise, you can be seen as insensitive. Well, this is the case of this company, AT&T, an American company, that they actually got a negative feedback about this tweet because people thought that they were trying to promote a smartphone, a smartphone during the commemoration anniversary of the 11th of September. So they had actually to delete this post very quickly and apologize with their community. Yeah. Okay, so those were my 7 tips for increasing relationships in your community. So now it's Matthew's turn.
Okay. I'll make this quick. Considering the qualities enterprise-scale organizations typically aim to demonstrate, namely professionalism and the strict adherence to standardized business protocols. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's not mine.
Yeah, we started.
Okay. Namely professionalism and the strict adherence to standardized business protocols, it may initially appear as though the mere notion of the successful utilization of online social media platforms is inappropriate and contradictory. As the basis of social media and the connotations that social content bear, they are typically of sensationalism or gossip. Considering this stigma and anticipated public reception, businesses are able to tactically construct, distribute, and market their social publications through the adoption and use of specific methods and tools to avoid diminishing the company image whilst equally promoting its public awareness. So, the process of monitoring an organization's relevant content through digital channels is complex and often inaccurate. When contrasted against conventional communicative means such as newspapers, magazines, or other materialistic distribution methods, through which there is an explicit, definite, and simple correlation, that is, between the issues sold and the anticipated influence, the impact of social media publications, such as those through Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and other commercialized networking tools, it's difficult to interpret and measure. Although certain integrated platform-specific tools exist, such as the apparently ubiquitous like, comment, and retweet counters, those features don't provide a concise and comprehensive representation of the impact particular posts have made, nor do they provide relevant contextual data, such as the user's location or time when viewing the information, nor the total duration for which the information was viewed. Without violating network-specific confidentiality agreements, it is seemingly impossible to know which users have witnessed or accessed particular posts. Yeah, that's what it's linking to primary, It is for this reason professional organizations often exploit social media platforms as more of a delegate, simply acting as a proxy containing links to their proprietary websites. Examples of such behavior are evident across countless enterprise-scale corporate Facebook pages such as the Adobe, Deloitte, and Microsoft pages that are in front of you. So you can see here, it is embed links into Facebook posts. This isn't just to allow more imagery or any kind of technical features. It's so that they can lure you into viewing their own website, and from there they're able to monitor your activity more extensively. And it increases traffic for the website itself. So as far as things like marketing and advertising go, if they're being paid on a view basis on their own website, they want people to visit it rather than just checking their Facebook pages. So this is how they do it. These posts tease important information to attentively compel users to access their own resources, allowing such organizations to bypass Facebook's privacy policies and subsequently, volitionally and comprehensively monitor all aspects of user activity. Useful and deducible information would include quantifiable data such as how many users accessed which particular article on which particular day, and qualitative information such as which article topics were of particular interest to users. And that's all I have. So these are our references. And now I guess we'll take any questions.
I'll see if I can flip this back to so you can see us. How are you doing that? Okay, fantastic. We're back. All right, so I don't know if we have any further questions at this point in time, and I'm not sure really how we go about having a look to see where they are, but...
This isn't a two-way conversation, so Callum's question was submitted through Google Plus conversation, I think.
Yeah, so you can comment on the actual page that I linked everyone to on the Google Plus community. So you are able to say something underneath the link there. I'm not actually sure how many viewers we still have at this point. 4 viewers, so okay, so if any of the other 3 would like to ask anything, that's fine. We have hit about 30 minutes now though, so if not, that's absolutely fine, and you can always
hit us up on the Google Plus.
That's absolutely right, Google Plus or via email.
Yeah.
You have it there in the spreadsheet provided by Callum, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about anything if they'd like any further information on the topic I was discussing. Okay, well,
with that,
yeah, thanks so much for the time. I'll just wait maybe till 5 past, but yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, well,
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, hope everyone had a good
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe on that note, it is a bit awkward to hang around, but
Just tag in for the tail end.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Okay.
Right.
See ya.
Guys,
See you
thank
later.
you.